Metro Detroit, this is HBL Radio Nation.
Yo,
yes,
yo.
It is.
Start the show.
We're here to start the show. I'm Brian P. Gallagher.
I'm Diane Russell. We are HBL Radio Nation.
Welcome all of you Hibblers out there for listening to us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for liking and subscribing and commenting and worshiping and all of that you do for us. We are going to try to return it as best we can. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about, Di. Do you want to start with one of the lighter things?
Well,
or,
I was hoping we were going to be talking about something else today.
I did too.
I know, unfortunately.
I did too. I was off the grid for the last 3-4 hours, and I was hoping that I was going to show up to that
Me
Cheshire
going,
Smile
woohoo,
grin.
with fucking champagne.
Just a Cheshire Smile grin and slants for eyes looking at me, handing me a joint when I walked in the door. That's what I expected. But it didn't happen yet. It will happen, and this will be a joyful, joyful day. It will be a wonderful, wonderful day. But
hopefully by next week's show, we will know more.
Yes.
And thank you, everybody, for coming in. And the good thing is about this whole thing is that these lawyers, the talking heads they're all saying, if you don't indict him now it would be it's too big a crime not to indict him.
Right.
It'd be against the rule of law if you don't indict him for the crimes that we know of just in the public sphere.
It's the opposite of what Pence's argument is. Pence's argument is that it would be detrimental to the United States if we were to indict him at this point simply because of the fact that it would look bad against a former sitting president. However, at this stage of the game, I'm willing to go diametrically opposed to that and say, hey, I think it's going to be more detrimental to the country if we don't indict.
Absolutely.
Because if we don't get that indictment, the rest of the world is really going to look at us going, really, you guys had this guy and you let him do this shit, and what do you guys?
Nothing.
What do you guys now? Greece?
Yeah, nothing.
Are you Turkey? What are you now?
No.
They're going to lose total respect for anything that the democracy held at one point in time.
And not only that, it's just the detriment that it would do to our country, not just to the world, how they look at us. That means he could get reelected, and that's the fucking last thing I want.
Well, keep in mind, even with an indictment, even with a conviction, he could get reelected. I don't think that's a possibility. I don't think it will really happen. I don't think he has the votes, period, right now. They've splinter celled their own. They've driven so much diration into their own party, their own community. They're ripping their community apart. He's going after anybody who doesn't immediately say what he likes. He went after Katie McEnany, and if you go after that brainless twit, then you are going to go after anybody in the GOP. And the funny thing is a lot of the GOPers said, oh, he went after a woman. Oh, that's not right. It's like, wait a minute, you fucking morons. Like, he went after a woman that you like, so now it's wrong.
Yeah, so now it's wrong. Not that E. Jean Carroll or anything.
Yeah,
by the way.
Oh, he went from 400 to 401, so now he should be criminalized, for it. But he should have been criminalized from 0.1. We know that. It's absolutely hysterical to me as to how much we're getting as far as them trying to eat themselves right now. And I don't think it's like last time where it was just the primaries. I mean, those primaries were insane, and the fact that they bowed down and kissed his ass after he called Ted Cruz's wife ugly and said that his dad had something to do with, shooting JFK.
Yeah.
All this kind of craziness came through, and they still kiss his ass afterwards, but he doesn't have that pull anymore.
No.
Does not have that pull anymore, and he's more of a risk than anything else. If you look at risk mitigation, you are not going to go with Trump in the party, and I don't even know if he's going to get the party nomination at this point. I don't think Christie will. I don't think P. Sandus will get it. I don't believe these
fucking polls anyway. The fucking polls are totally ridiculous.
Yeah, the polls never mattered because in the last one the poll showed that in 2016 the poll showed that Trump was going to lose.
Yeah.
So we got fucked by the polls. I'm not. Sometimes polls fuck you.
But it was rigged against Hillary. I mean, we know that now.
Everything was, yeah.
Yeah. And so, I don't know. I mean, at least the good thing is they passed the goddamn ceiling bill, and so we can move on a little bit without fucking biting our nails every 5 minutes. And Biden, really handed it to fucking Kevin McCarthy with barely a win.
Right.
Like he raised the age of something for 4 years or something, and it was that was it. And so That was good. So at least we're out of one crisis, right?
That's right.
And so now, we have to move on to the next fucking crisis.
But we have a sub-crisis that we have to deal with here as well. I'm just reading on here that Kat, who's watching the show right now, watching it live. Thank you, Kat. How you doing? Kat has 5 bottles of champagne.
She does?
Now, I'm wondering, does that... I mean, that's got to be more... It's got to be drink 2, and then what do you do with the other 3? That...
You wait till the next indictment.
What do you do? A bottle per indictment, Kat. Know your limits, okay? Just 1 bottle per indictment.
Oh,
okay?
my God.
Get yourself a bunch of orange juice because you're going to need all of it for the mimosas for the next day, because I would recommend the champagne in mimosas on the next morning. I can't do champagne anymore because I have a bizarre allergy, which means that I can't have anything from grapes, including wine and champagne, and it sucks because I used to love champagne.
Fuck, that sucks.
So I'm begging you, Kat, please hold on to it. The morning after the indictment, that's when you wake up, take a nice long shower, sit back in your robe, towel on your head, and make yourself a bunch of mimosas.
Yeah.
And just
continue drinking the next day.
Yes. And if those 5 bottles become 2 bottles, then so be it.
I'll tell you what, there's going to be a fucking party in the streets. I'm going to run outside and with my bottle of champagne and be like, woohoo, motherfuckers, screaming in the air.
I am going to find great joy. I'm going to find great joy, as you know I would, walking into any of the conservative places nearby where we live, walking into those bars and restaurants and going, hey, what's up, guys? What's new?
Yeah.
And then ordering a Bud Light.
Yeah.
Do you realize that I have now been, I haven't been here in person. I've had some personal things that I've been dealing with. Thank you for, dealing with me being remote for a couple of weeks there. But in that time, I know before I left, the last time I was here, I mentioned that I had been talked to, 2 or 3 times, like when I ordered Bud Light at a pub or a bar.
Right.
That number is probably up to about 30.
No shit.
At this point. I have people making all kinds of comments.
Like what?
You want a rainbow with that? All that kind of stuff. And
did you order a skirt with that? Do they ever say to you when you're wearing your kilt?
No, because and I'm dying for the next person too, because I have a new comeback on the kilt. Like I always,
What, are you afraid this beer's going to make you gay? That's what I would say.
Well, no. At any time that anybody makes a comment about my kilt, I always use the one line, it's called a kilt because that's what we did to people after we put them on. Yeah. And sometimes people would say, what are you wearing under there? And my new comeback for that is your mama's lipstick.
Right.
So I'm waiting to use that, but it's just ridiculous nowadays that you can't order a beer without somebody deciding that that's making a statement. And I have had a couple of guys at one particular place. I had one guy come up to me sitting there when I came in and I sat down and I did, what do you have in tall Bud Light? Okay. Oh, you're sticking with him? Sticking with who? This place? No, Bud Light. Why wouldn't I?
Right.
Well, didn't you hear? So at this point, I'm like, I really want to hear his explanation.
Right.
Of this,
yeah.
Hear what?
I have a question. How about this one? What beer do you suggest I drink?
Yeah. What beer is it okay for me to drink?
Yeah. I'm just curious because.
Yeah.
But there is only one way.
Coors, or if you say this or say that, then you just pull up the fucking thing on your cell phone with Coors with the goddamn rainbow on their can and be like,
it's a whole concept of tolerance.
Everybody's doing it, dude. And by the way, it's been happening for the last 50 years. And why are you now fucking so aware of it? Because they're telling you to be outraged about it.
Exactly. Why does it matter what I'm doing to you? How does that work? Because it really comes back to this old argument that I've always had, because I'm going to admit it right now on this show. I do this all the time when I go to a place, and I know the difference between charcoal and well done. Well done means cooked all the way through, means no pink. That's all it means. I order a steak, a nice piece of steak, a $38 piece of steak, and I order it well done, and I have other people slapping the table next to me going, "What are you doing? You're ruining that meat." No, it would be a waste of that meat if I ordered it the way you want it done, because I'm not going to eat that.
Right,
I'm going to eat I'm going to eat the shit out of this. Believe me, I'm going to eat the whole damn thing.
Right. You just don't like it to be pink.
But
in the middle.
I don't get it why my desire to have a well-done steak affects the guy next to me in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
But again, I've had a lot of people have visceral reactions to it. And this is the kind of concept that if you expand this out, it's kind of like, this is the concept of people walking through Target and getting so upset at seeing a rainbow that they grab it and they throw it to the ground and they stomp on it. The comment I made before is that, well, I guess only women shop at Target because Target sells feminine products. So apparently they only cater to women, right? No, if you're a guy and you walk into Target and there's an aisle that has feminine products, you just don't buy those products and you move on.
I could reverse that. I could reverse that whole thing, and I could say, how about, I don't have kids.
That's right.
So why do
You're not going to buy the
why
children's.
am I being indoctrinated with children's
to
kids?
have children, yeah.
Every time I
With
walk
children's
in
clothing.
there, I am inundated.
There's
with
pictures of
children's-
them little kids all over the place.
There's pictures
It's
of
sick.
them little toddlers
It's
all
sick.
over the place, and they're offending me.
It's all sick.
I'm offended.
It makes me feel things.
Oh, God damn. What
Pictures
the
of
fuck?
little kids make me feel things.
How about there's men's clothes there?
Yeah.
Okay, why am I being inundated with men's clothes at
Exactly.
Target?
It gets so ridiculous when you just replace a word or two in their argument.
Right.
It becomes so ludicrous.
Right.
Not to be confused
When
with
we
Koopa
go
Thugger
to
Chris.
Target, so we only have to go to one fucking store. That's why Target is Target and Walmart is Walmart. Because you can go there and you can get men's clothes and women's clothes and babies' clothes. You can also get groceries and cleaning supplies, shit for your kitchen, and you got to replace your sheets. So
I
you
got
get
shit I
fucking
gotta
sheets.
buy. That's why I'm going to a store and I'm buying my shit and I'm getting out. If I'm not buying that shit, what difference does it make to you if I'm buying that shit or not? You're not coming to my house. Obviously, these guys that are clad head to toe in hunter gear.
Yeah.
So I can't even see them when they're there, right? Because it's camouflage.
They're so afraid of books and rainbows and this culture war
Women.
bullshit. Women.
Vaginas.
Oh,
They're
did you
scared of
hear-
the
Did you
vagina.
hear the Canadian fires are because
They don't trust the vagina.
of a woman? Women did this. The Canadian fires are all women's fault.
hell is that shit?
I thought it was because they didn't rake their forests.
Yeah, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, what is that all about? So you're saying that they claim that women started the Canadian
I have no.
wildfires that are going
I
right
couldn't even read into it because I was just too disgusted by the whole thing.
By women, do they mean Zeus's wife? Because Hera. Because I think it was lightning that started this whole thing. I could be wrong.
Cat goes 1 bottle per indictment. I'm gonna need 10 more bottles. Just get a fucking case.
Cat, that would be great. If you, Cat, if you get through the first 5
Just get
and we
a
get a
case.
6th one coming up,
Yeah.
HBL Radio Nation will sponsor you on a GoFundMe to get you a bottle for every indictment from that point forward.
And I'm not talking the
Right.
cheap stuff. We're talking Clee fucking Co.
Well, slow your roll. I'm not talking $6 stuff, but I'm not talking I'm not saying you got to mix Night Train with 7-Up. But I'm saying it's somewhere Corbel or somewhere around there, $15, $20.
Negative. It's got to be Prosecco at least.
Dick.
Prosecco at least. No. Anyway,
We
yeah.
will
so
get
we
a
will.
GoFundMe going for every bottle for
I
every
know.
indictment beyond that. Because if we get to indictment number 6, oh my God, that is going to be hilarious. That's going to be awesome. That's going to be wonderful.
Fucktard.
And okay, so Biden tripped and fell, and they were trying to make such a big fucking deal
But
about
did you
it.
hear Biden's retaliation to it?
Yeah.
His joke later on?
I got
sandbagged. Love Biden.
He's
Awesome.
At least he's got a sense of humor.
Awesome.
And
He didn't claim it never happened. He
And
didn't blame anybody else.
he
I got sandbagged.
popped right back up.
Went right into the humor on it.
You know what?
The fact is he could pop right back up.
Yeah. At least he can ride a bike and drive a car. So
Yeah.
I'd like to see your precious fucking Trump try to fucking drive a stick shift.
I'd like to see Trump stand straight. Like he looks like the front of his feet have been nailed down and the rest of him is hovering over the top. Like I think his tits need to go over his big toes at all time when he stands.
It's because he wears lifts in his shoes. That's why he stands like that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Same thing with DeSantis. Disaster.
Oh, jeez.
Speaking of which, that fucking asshole.
I'm gonna fuck him.
He's
good.
been steering pension funds with Wall Street money
Mouse is gonna get
managers
you.
who donated to his campaign. If accurate, this is huge. Would mean he's ripping off the state employees, cops, teachers, etc.
The only thing
Also,
huge
it's
about
also
DeSantis.
criminal. It's obvious that Disaster is delivering for the private equity industry, and in exchange, are providing funds for his campaign. So he's just a fucking piece of shit.
If at first
This
you
is
don't
from
succeed,
the
keep on sucking
director-
till you do succeed.
Co-director of the Center of Economic and Policy Research. So it's
Yes.
like he's a grifting ass motherfucker too. And
oh,
I don't know who's worse,
I
him
do.
or Trump. We know about Trump and all of his crimes. We don't know about this guy, and he's super skeevy.
But
He's
there's
just
somebody
so gross.
else who we know all about their crimes as well, who's just as bad and just as crazy on going on that, and that's Pat fucking Robertson, who died
Fuck
at
yeah.
93 years old.
Hallelujah. Praise the Lord.
He's with Jeebus now.
Oh, God. Fucking asshole. Damage those motherfuckers have done.
Hmm? Yes. What was it? He basically invented the religious right, and he brought the Baptists into all kinds of power with the people in structure. Trump had to meet with him, and Trump is famously on video,
Make
with
sure
them,
those
and his
freaks
responses are like, yeah, whatever.
Make sure
whatever.
those freaks don't touch me. That one.
No, he said
The religious people, remember how they all put their hands on him and they were all praying?
That was after. Before all this, there was one where he's like at a dinner and he's giving a speech and he's trying to get the Baptist vote behind him, the Southern Baptist vote, and they're talking to him about Jesus and all this kind of stuff, and he goes, yeah, whatever, and like he actually says, yeah, whatever, to one of their like big religious lines. It's hysterical how
fucking Democrat.
Just completely. Yes, I am. Thank you, because I am an atheist. So Pat Robertson dead at 93. So now Pat Robertson is probably hanging out down below with old Rush Limbaugh, who is still sober to this day. Thank you. Here's to you, Rush. Here's to you, Rush.
Yeah, Tony, you need that drum thing where it goes ba-dum-bum. Tony gives you crickets all the time.
That one's getting old. And that one cricket is really a fan of mine. I mean,
yeah.
At least he subscribed. At least he subscribed. Speaking of which, be just like that one cricket, not like a cockroach, and go ahead and like and subscribe and follow us on all the social medias.
And tell your friends.
Tell your friends, get you
Brian's
involved.
like my only friend that is not a Trumper. And
Just
that's
a fish
why
wound.
I have no friends, because I lost all my friends and they became Trumpers or anti-vaxxers or both.
There's a lot of them folks out there.
Speaking of which, Moms of Liberty, we call them Clan Karenhood.
Yes.
The chairperson was found guilty in a harassment case, and now they're also what is it called? They're not a terrorist organization. They're a hate group.
Yes, they are a hate group by the Southern some Southern moral group that got together and declared them as a hate group. Put them on a list.
And everybody's they're all fucking bent. I'm like, if you don't like being called Klan Karen Hood,
Yeah.
and if you don't like being called a Nazi, then don't act like a fucking Nazi. It's that fucking simple.
But they don't understand that they are acting like fascists. That's the thing. They don't get. It started, and I said it was I hate to use this term, but I said it was a slippery slope back in the day when it was the whole. I had quit smoking at one point, and everyone around me was still smoking. And there was a whole push to push the smokers out, outside, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, guys, you shouldn't be doing that. And there's a whole push against anti-smoking stuff. And a few of my friends who were non-smokers said, well, now that you're not smoking anymore, don't you want to, go against the smokers and all this kind of stuff? And I'm like, no, fuck that. No, I understand the whole concept of it, and I enjoyed it when I did it. I just choose not to do it now. Right. They should have the choice to be able to do it. They should be able to do it in a safe environment. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you imposing your will onto them? And that's what everything is all about.
Yeah, imposing theocracy on American people.
Self-theocracy.
Yeah.
Because you are creating yourself as God. You are making your own tribe, your own cult around that. You're saying that everyone should follow me. But the problem is that when everybody's doing that, there is no one signified leader, and then you get these break off into these factions, these splinter cells, which is what we're seeing right now
Trump
on the right.
And Alex Jones and Steve Bannon.
And they're all attacking each other right
Proud
now.
Boys.
And you've got, P. Santis. He's attacking everybody at this point. And Chris Christie's not being, playing ball with anybody else or anybody. He's not really
and I love
doing
that,
any sports.
Excuse me. I love that Anonymous has been going after Moms of Liberty,
right,
and keep shutting down their website and keep hacking the shit out of them. Just like, come on, Anonymous, I love you, bro, or whoever you are.
They hit it when they need to.
I love it when we need somebody like that on our side.
Absolutely.
I don't know who they are, but I love them for doing that.
Do you know much about this PGA Live merger? In golf, something about the PGA and Live.
I know all about it.
Merging
but
together. I don't get the big deal about why the Pool Boy Guild of America joining up with Saudi Arabians is a big deal.
It's like the Russians buying the National Baseball League.
I know. I was just making a bad joke. I said
That's
the Pool
why
Boys. Yeah. So
I get it.
Thank you for that, Tony.
Son of a bitch.
But the thing is, with the Saudi Arabians stepping in with all the money behind this, people need to really look at where the Saudis are spending their money elsewise as well. With the Kuchners, clearly, $2.5 billion that is known of. Kuchner? Kuchner? Kuchner?
Yes.
Kuchners. Das ist eine Kuchners and das ist eine Bad.
Cuckold.
And you have them with Elon Musk, right, at several sporting events, major sporting events around the world. You have them at Formula One events with all kinds of other leaders.
You know what it is? They're running out of oil, and oil has been their only fucking main thing of money. And now that everybody's going to be switching away from oil, they're trying to figure out how they can get into this and get into that. And they're buying land here. You know what I mean?
Course,
they're buying farms here.
They're buying whatever they can.
I don't want Chinese and Saudi Arabians and Russians to be buying fucking our land and owning our fucking farming. That's no. This is not how we roll. They should not be allowed to fucking do it. I don't know how they're allowed to do it.
Then we need to change it so that they're not allowed to do it for sure. Because it should, farming land and everything like that, I feel should go to help, as best we can, within our own infrastructure.
You want to fuck with our
if
food?
you get into a private industry, then we can't control who they're going to sell it to. It's the
shell
issue.
companies. It's that whole fucking, again, with the shell companies and the Citizen United. Now we don't know where all the money's going or coming from. And that was such a fucking shitty deal.
Or where the
And
product's
fucking
going. The
Supreme
product could
Court-
be ending up back here.
Yeah.
For a profit.
No, it's fucked up. I don't like other countries owning our shit. I really don't. I don't even think we own Harley Davidson anymore. We don't own Levi jeans anymore.
Well,
we don't,
for everybody complaining about Bud Light and everybody going crazy about getting their guns out to shoot it, it's been a Belgian beer for 12 years.
And guess what? Don't they own Coors and they own
Stella Artois?
Stella. They own They own all these other beer companies. You can't get away because they're like almost a monopoly. They've bought up all the fucking other beer companies.
Yeah. It's like anything. It's like a television network, right? There's only really a handful that own all these spiderweb other
like
channels.
Sinclair. Sinclair owns all the radio stations.
Like the Sci-Fi Channel is owned by NBC, and NBC is an easy thing for people to understand. But when you say
Warner
the Sci-Fi Channel
Brothers
or the Travel Channel or something like that, they're like, well, those are two different things. No, those are both under NBC. They're both NBC channels.
Yeah, Warner Brothers owns CNN and things like that.
And Comcast owns almost everything. For NBC especially, but
it's like when do we stop giving a shit about these major monopolies?
Well, right now we have a whole fight back against the major monopolies with the Writers Guild of America still on strike.
Oh my God, it's been going on for so long.
SAG-AFTRA has voted that they are on strike as well. They voted to strike as well at this point. So SAG-AFTRA is now their Directors Guild. Settled pretty quickly. They settled within a week or two, I want to say. But so the Writers Guild is still out on strike. The longest strike that they've had in the 2000s. And now SAG-AFTRA is striking as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on out there. Anybody in the A market is not supposed to be producing new shows or anything like that. Luckily for us, we are in the B market. I work in the B market, so I don't have to worry about it. And my show is unscripted, and this show is unscripted. So we're still able to support the Writers Guild of America without having writers. Thank you for going over the top of what I'm talking.
Hunter Biden's laptop.
Yep.
We got this good weed up here in Michigan.
All right.
John and Kat are going to have to come up here. Come visit.
So, it's the top of the hour. And it's that point in the show at the top of the hour where we have to tell you a little bit something that's a little bit sobering. We got to do it. We got to get to it. We have a new number as far as the number of mass shootings that have occurred in America. And I'm letting it reload just in case it's changed, because we have to check on that now as to whether it's changed from the start of the show till now.
For half an hour.
It has not changed. It is 280 at this point right now. And I would like to say that 280 mass shootings this year in the United States of America gives us a nice segue into what Governor Gavin Newsom proposed recently. He has proposed today specifically that a 28th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America be made. That Constitution would be specifically for gun safety laws. That constitutional amendment would include a minimum age of 21, background checks, waiting periods, and assault rifle bans. So that's a pretty cohesive amendment. He has put his name on it, and he's put it up there. Now, people have said, who cares about Gavin Newsom? Well, here's the thing about Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is the governor of California. Gavin Newsom runs the fourth largest GDP
in the world.
At this point.
Yeah.
If California broke away from the United States and became its own country, it would be fourth. It would be ahead of the rest of the United States of America.
Yes.
I think this is a very good move. This is a very good move in a very good direction. He needs people to support him on it. And guess what? I know that we here in Michigan, with our great governor,
Oh, I love her.
Big Gretch,
Like
passed,
look at the smile on my face.
just put all these bills
I
in
fucking
place.
love her.
Just put all these bills in place here at a state level.
Yep.
She is. I guarantee she's going to support this. I guarantee everyone in that blue wave that we had here in Michigan is doing so much good and doing so well. I can't tell you how great it is. Like, we're seeing stuff getting done. We're seeing the roads getting fixed. Yeah, it's inconvenient, to go around the orange barrels, but there are so many orange barrels out there. Guess what? That means stuff's getting done.
And guess what? Every summer,
Yep.
there'd be orange barrels out there, but guess what? They didn't fix the roads correctly. So they'd be out
That's
there
right.
the next fucking summer.
That's right.
And it was just a big fucking waste of money is what it was. When there was
And
other
now we
people
have-
who were running the state and not getting this shit done and doing it correctly. That's the thing. Like, they fixed at the end of our street, there's potholes.
Doing it well.
But what do they do? They put the black stuff in the cement. You can't do that. It's going to be
That's asphalt patching.
Yes.
That you put into cement, and it doesn't patch
It
well.
doesn't
And you know what
fucking
happens?
work.
You get a little bit of thing like this. And what happens in Michigan every year? We get snow. And when a snowplow comes along, rips that thing off like a zit. The original thing pulls up, all the patching pulls up, makes it even worse than it was before.
Yep.
Think I'm gonna
Every single year. This entryway, I'm not going to say exactly where, but there's an entryway from where I live on my way to here on a main road. And when I take out that entryway has been rebuilt 3 times in the last 12 years from just falling apart and turning into a pothole haven. And I don't get it because, you've rebuilt it every 3 years. What the hell?
If you spend the money and fix it correctly the first time, you won't have this problem.
Yeah. Who's the Canadian guy? The big blonde guy. Oh God. He had this whole. Thank you, Tony. He had this whole show where he would go into and people would show him. Well, I've got this crack in the wall. Can you help me patch it and repaint the wall? And he'd look at it. And he goes,
This old
"All right,
house?
Here's the thing. I'm going to need you to tear this entire wall out so I can see it down to the studs because we got to do
This
it
old
right."
house?
No, do it right was his whole thing. And it was him and his family. It was a Canadian guy, a blonde guy. I'll look it up and I'll pull it up.
I thought you were talking about maybe this old house.
You
But
crazy
No,
Dutch
no.
bastard.
No, because I was
anyway,
a fan of this old house as well.
Yeah,
but,
moving
no.
on to some more news. The Trump lawyers can't find the document that he was waving around.
Hate Donald Trump
That's
so much.
because they haven't dug up the
Yeah.
the golf course yet.
Yeah, they haven't done it. Yeah, exactly. And Chicago Tribune calls for Trump to remove his name from their riverfront tower in Chicago, which I'm like, yeah, everybody raise your hand if you're for this. I'm like, yeah, we're for it.
Nice.
Trump lawyers told a federal court yesterday that nothing in the Twitter files cited Trump's actually showed that the social media platform was a tool of the government censorship. Another talking point dead. So there goes your Twitter files.
Mike Holmes is the name of the guy that I'm thinking about. You haven't seen this guy?
I don't know.
Mike Holmes? Tony, you can look him up and you can throw him up there if you haven't seen him before. This guy is hysterical. He has these shows in Canada where, like I say, people bring him into their house. And it's just a tiny little thing. It's like, well, I got this little stain on the wall here. What do you think? And he goes in with his crew and he looks at it and he goes, all right.
We're going to have to tear the whole
We've got a
off.
stain here. I'm going to need you guys to tear everything from the second floor bedroom down to the basement out. I want to see what the roots are. I want to see what we got going on. Like, it's hysterical. Like, every single time he's got to tear it down to, like, just the studs.
Billy's in the house. Jim Jordan tells the DOJ to turn over the details of Jack Trump's investigation. And my comment was, and the DOJ tells Jim Jordan to go fuck himself.
How about no?
Yeah, that would be like a big fat fucking no.
Computer says no.
What an idiot he is. I think there's going to be massive arrests coming, and they don't even know it. Like, they don't fucking know it. I think they've been working their way up the ladder for a year and a half. So I think we might see some good shit.
It's not even going to be a Rocky fight. This is going to be one guy just pummeling another guy against the ropes, and it's going to be the Justice Department pummeling Trump against the ropes for a long time. This is going to be indictment. Yeah. This is going to be, here's Georgia. Here's the classified documents. Here's another thing about the classified documents. Oh, here's
Trump
Eugene
in
Carroll
the
Part
kitchen.
2.
It's Trump in the kitchen with his hand in the cookie jar.
Oh, yeah.
Which I still can't get over from last week's show. It still makes me giggle a little
That's great.
bit.
Yeah, the ultimate clue.
Yeah, like the
solution.
game. The clue. Yeah. And it's Trump in the kitchen with his hand in the cookie jar.
You little shit. Yes.
Stuck in the cookie jar. Like
yes.
Winnie the Pooh's hand was stuck in the honey jar.
Absolutely nuts.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Yeah, we were talking about the recordings last
Scream
week,
out your
and
windows.
apparently Trump was recorded on many occasions in 2021 for books and other purposes, and investigators have several, if not all, of the book interviews that Trump gave. So and the reason why they do that is so they can quote people. When you're interviewing somebody for a book, you want to be able to quote them accurately.
Yes.
So that's why you record them.
And you need to put it in your footnotes, yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so he knew that it was being recorded during all these fucking things, but he just doesn't give a fuck, and he's still waving around classified documents.
His hubris and ego overrode common sense as to what he does and says. It always does.
Right.
That's his downfall is himself. He is his own worst
enemy.
His own worst client.
Yes.
For the legal aspects of it.
Can we do this week in George Santos news?
Oh.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Please do.
This week in George
Take
Santos
us through.
news. Okay, this is so great.
Perhaps you'd like me to come in there and wash your
dick for you.
You know, he got bailed out of jail, and we don't know who paid his bail. So the federal judge has issued a new order on the release of George Santos' the three secret individuals who paid his $500,000 bail on the 13 counts of fraud, and that was
Harlan Crow, H. Crow, and Har Crow.
Well, we don't really kind of know that. So
no,
and
MTG's probably in there too.
No, wait, there was more on this story, but it came later. So let me just find it.
Oh, you're gonna die, you motherfucker! You're gonna die!
Yeah. George Santos begs the court not to reveal who paid his bond, and he said, "I'd rather go to jail. I'd rather go to jail than reveal the names of the three people."
He did say that, yeah.
Why? So if the federal judge, the identities of three who paid for George Santos Tuesday. Okay, so he has until Friday. So he has until tomorrow.
Yes, to
appeal it, and so
to officially appeal it.
Yeah,
yes.
And so otherwise we are gonna find out who fucking paid it. I'm curious.
Yes.
I'm just curious as hell, just because.
I am curious, but I want this to last. Let it go another week.
It's a trap.
Let me know who paid for Santos next week. There's so much going on this week.
It's an adult human female.
Yeah.
Stretch
but that's
it
what
out
I
a
thought it
little
was
bit.
really interesting that
Stretch
he's
it
like,
out a little bit.
I'd rather go to jail.
If we get the indictment tomorrow,
Fuck.
and by the way, I have to buy a new bag of popcorn.
Indictment.
Get one of those big giant tins full of it.
No. No, much bigger than. I'll show you. I need to use. I need to put it in the passenger seat, and then the light comes on that there might be a child there. So I actually have to put the seatbelt around my popcorn bag. The popcorn bags I get are like this big. Yeah, I'll show you. I'll take video of the next one for the show.
Just before the show, I read really quick. I didn't get through the whole article. But that Mark Meadows moved thousands of documents the last night that Trump was
right. Yeah, you were
in
saying
office.
That,
yeah. Now, we know that he burned documents in the White House, in the fireplaces of the White House. There's witnesses to this.
To Mark Meadows burning
Yes.
stuff? Okay,
Yes.
I knew Trump burned stuff and Trump flushed stuff. I didn't know that Mark Meadows was also doing
Mark
stuff.
Meadows was doing this shit too.
Okay.
Yeah, that book meeting was at Bedminster, and so Meadows, people were speculating he must be cooperating. Well, now we know he is, and there is, where is that? Because this shit keeps trickling out, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, the shit that's hitting the fan. Yeah, we know he's testified in the Jack Smith document case and the Jan 6 probe because he was there for both.
Yes.
Run up and whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
And we talked a little bit before about how if they pick something that they can not go after him on, and they can promise him that he's not going to be incriminating himself, then they take away his ability to use the Fifth Amendment.
Right.
He won't be able to say, I plead the Fifth. He'll have to answer them because it doesn't matter if he slit somebody's throat. They've promised him that they are not coming after him for this particular crime. So he can't incriminate himself. Therefore, it takes away his ability to use the Fifth. I think that's a brilliant legal move. And that's something that they've said that they were going to do, and they did it. And it's great. I love it.
So we know that he moved all these thousands of documents last night.
Yes.
We knew that he burned documents in the White House. He's also was in contact with the Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys, while these two groups met in the Willard Hotel at the War Room before January 6th. You know that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
before Ivana's fall.
DOJ has sworn testimony that the Proud Boys in the Capitol were prepared to kill Pence and Pelosi. And also, Meadows texted with 34 House Republicans about overturning the 2020 election.
And
all this shit just came out in literally the last 24 hours.
Let me ask you this.
let me ask you this. What the fuck is Hal doing on right now?
Hi, Hal.
Asshole.
Oh, shit.
It's Thursday. He doesn't start till 7. He's on right now.
Oh, wow.
Well, we don't have anybody here, so.
We have 5 people here. And we love you.
We have 8
here. We like them all.
We got 8 now.
Nobody.
We have 8?
Yeah.
Aw. We love you guys.
Thank you, everybody. Jesus.
I know. I feel
Jesus,
so
I'm
special.
going to tear.
I feel so special.
Negative.
No, so Mark Meadows is a fucking load of shit. And so now we find out today that he's pleading guilty to lesser charges in order for him to give his testimony against fucking Trump, which I think is just...
And that plays into the whole...
But he's still in a world
concept,
of shit.
The whole legal strategy that we were talking about. Yeah, yeah.
He's in a
works into it,
world
yeah.
of shit. There's no questioning whether
Now,
he's in a world of shit.
Am I right or am I wrong in this? I'm going to make the statement, and I'm going to let you tell me, true or negative. We like to keep each other honest on this. But I seem to recall that there was something at some point about Khan Jr. sending texts on January 6th begging people to get his dad to make a statement, which first of all tells me that Khan Jr. doesn't have his dad's cell phone number. Secondly,
if he did, his dad wasn't picking up.
was that
Tony,
not,
give me a beer, please.
Was that not Mark Meadows? That one of the individuals that he was sending texts to that day on January 6th.
When they couldn't get a hold of Trump, everybody and their grandmother was trying to get a hold of Mark Meadows. His phone was going off the fucking hook that day.
But is the text that we know about, the text that they've released, that CNN's reported, everybody else has reported, do you know if in there...
Because the DOJ has his phone.
Was Khan Jr. texting stuff to Mark Meadows that day? Because we know that, like, Hannity was, we know that somebody else was, Laura Ingraham was, or somebody.
We know Junior was, and Ivanka was, too.
And Junior was, so I'm right.
Kellyanne
Junior was
Conway.
sending it to Mark Meadows, sending text to Mark Meadows that day.
Who was that, babe?
And does not know his own dad's cell phone number.
Oh,
apparently.
he does. I'm just sure that, Trump probably turned off his phone. And he didn't know which burner phone to call him on.
Yeah. Don't give this one to Junior. He's all coked up. He's not gonna know. He's
but I still
gonna
think
go on about that whole Olyanka thing when we were younger, when he walked in. No, it was right. No, she's. I know she's my daughter, but she can touch it. She can touch it.
Oh God, dude.
Don Jr.'s on coke.
It's gross.
That's the grossness that happened, though.
I know. So
Hate Donald
Taylor
Trump
Buttigieg,
so much.
who is Trump's aide, he's the guy who testified in Florida
Right.
grand jury yesterday morning in the documents case. He has the same lawyer as Nada Scavino and Kash Patel, among others, and he's paid by a Trump PAC.
Kash Patel has plenty
And
of cash
that-
coming in.
Yeah, that might mean that the Florida grand jury is about the PAC investigation, but that's just speculation and from people who are in the know, whatever. But I really think that we didn't even know about the Florida grand jury until like a couple of fucking days ago.
Right.
Good. I'm glad. That means they're keeping their fucking shit really tight. The only reason why that's
That
really
was
loud.
a little loud.
Really loud. The only reason why we know about the Florida
you,
grand jury
Tony.
at all is because this dude and other people have been subpoenaed to it, and it's all these leaks are coming from the Trump administration, not from DOJ. We didn't even know about this fucking Florida grand jury.
Yeah.
We don't even know how long it's been there. No fucking clue. I love this guy. I love Jack Smith. I hope he's the hero we all want him to be. Because Mueller couldn't do it, but his hands were tied. And oh my God, Bill Barr coming out this week and being like, oh yeah, he took the documents and we all know he's a bad person and blah, blah, blah. Fuck you, Bill Barr.
My
Go
biggest
to
hope.
fucking jail, you piece of shit.
My biggest hope is that Jack Smith, unlike these other fucks, is not just planning on writing a book
Love you too,
and
Andrea.
publishing it at 6 months after he's done, dealing with what he has to deal with. I hope he's really focused on the task at hand. Everybody says that he's a bird dog. He's gonna get it. He's gonna dig in it. He's gonna dig until he gets at it. That's what I really hope.
Yeah, me too.
If that's not the case, and this is just another fuck who's gonna I'm gonna go kind of softball on it, but then 6 months later, I'm gonna put out a book that has the real story.
Oh, no. I don't think Jack Smith is that kind of guy. He seems like a
If he
no
turns
fucking-
into that kind of guy, I am going to flip my shit.
Benny Loco is in the house. Andrea in the
Benny
house.
Loco.
Just popping in to say hi. Modding on Hal. Love you
Andrea.
too. Yeah, you guys, I
How
miss
are
you.
you, Andrea?
And yeah.
You
tell us
insignificant.
Negative.
Ooh, that is a new drop. That is
Tony made it special.
Oh.
Happy 420 somewhere. Yeah. I was
Rubs
just
the
smoking
lotion on its skin or else it gets
some
the hose
goodies.
again.
That's right. It gets the whole thing again, precious.
So Steve Bannon has been issued a grand jury subpoena in the D.C. Jan 6 investigation.
Yeah, that just means
Yay.
He's not going to do shit. We're just waiting for his appeals to run out for him to do jail time for.
Yeah, Mark Meadows is flipped. He agreed to plead guilty on several lesser federal crimes in exchange for his testimony against Trump. So, good. I hope, I want to see multiple arrests. I want to see massive arrests.
We're going to see one.
Of suits.
Massive dumps.
Yeah, well, we're going to see one. And we're going to see one. There's one perp walk we all want to see. We got a little sprinkle.
I could use a lot of them. I could use a Bannon
we
perp walk. And
somebody told us we were going to get a dessert, and
and
instead we got some of that baklava shit, which is like, it's okay. It's kind of sweet, but that is not a chocolate drenched ice cream puff thing.
No.
You know, and that's a dessert. That's what people want. They want that perp walk in tiny little handcuffs. That's what they want. They want to see the perp walk in the tiny little handcuffs.
I think we might get more than one perp walk. I really
once
think
we get the first,
it's going to be bigger than we think.
Once we get the
way
first,
bigger than we think.
I don't know if we're going to get a second, because I think it might be while he's in. Well, since you got the hood up, let's process this, process this, process this, process this. And I think that they'll pump a whole bunch of them. It'll, like you said before, and you said this before, they're waiting for the first.
First one to drop.
We had one that already came in and dropped.
State crime, yeah.
But they're waiting for the first federal level to come in. And you said they're waiting for the first to drop is going to be.
And then it's going to be a flood.
Yeah.
And we already know that Fani Willis, Georgia, is going to be doing this thing in August. So we already know that's coming.
Yeah.
You know, and we're at not even mid-June. We're on, walking on eggshells, waiting for a fucking new indictment. I can't wait. I can't wait to see how fucked he is. But I think it's going to be a lot worse than we really think. I kind of do.
I'm going to do an industrial-sized popcorn bag this time, and I am going to take video of...
you bringing it through the door?
I'll bring it by. I know a place.
I can't.
I know a place.
We're ready for indictment week.
I'll show up. It'll have a wig on it. And some lipstick.
Yeah, let's
this
finish
is my
with the Trump
date for
news.
the night.
Yeah, by the way, Trump asked for a new trial in the E. Jean Carroll case. Now, I don't know what the details are, but go ahead, dude. You want a new trial for what?
A new trial in the amendment. On the amendment that she made to the based upon what he said at the town hall. He's pushing everything out as much as he can. He's doing delay, like he always does. He's doing appeals.
He's not going to get it. No,
I know.
No.
You and I know this.
So, by the way, just so you know that shit has flooded in the past in Trump's world. So, in 1986, Trump operated a New York City-owned hotel and owed the city $3.5 million. He claimed he owed only $500,000. They wanted to see the hotel accounting records for the evidence. And guess what? The room in which they were held flooded. He later filed for bankruptcy, so the taxpayers lost. Also in 1986, a certain SDNY attorney named Giuliani was prosecuting mafia bosses to prison, but Trump's money laundering hotel somehow avoided Rudy's scrutiny. And in 1989, when Giuliani was running for mayor, Trump was his fundraising chair.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I'm sorry. What country are you
just
from?
A little
Hollywood.
Back history, and when shit flooded, evidence was been flooded before. Evidence
there
been
is
flooded.
no way
okay,
that
wait.
you can flood an IT closet.
I want you to talk about the IT closet because we talked about it before the show.
Yeah.
Is everybody gay?
I'm gonna. Yeah.
The IT closet is the concept is if you have a server room that is a dedicated server room, what you're going to have is you're going to have a raised floor, something that's 2.5, 3 feet off the ground, allowing air circulation and cabling and venting underneath. But up on these racks, you're going to have the actual servers. They're and the storage on the servers are going to be somewhere else. Plus the concept of cloud backups to almost everything that everyone does everywhere now. So in order to flood any of that, you would have to really get that flood water up to almost the top of the rafters there to actually do any kind of damage and soak it for a good long while. And once it's been soaked for a good long while, then maybe you've done damage to it and maybe they can't retrieve it. But isn't there really a backup somewhere on the cloud? There should be a backup on the cloud. So
there's always a backup. Man.
That's one of the big problems with their whole defense. It's funny as hell that someone would. This is like somebody saying that, well, so and so stole my phone, took really terrible photos with it, and then they destroyed it. So I guess I'll never see what those photos are. Really, you can't log into your cloud and find out what those photos are? I'm sure that you can. So the whole concept is that even if they flooded this IT room, shit backs up to the cloud nowadays because that's where storage is the cheapest and everyone does that. Amazon paved the way with Amazon Web Services.
There ain't no coming back. This is the really real world. There ain't no coming back.
Thank you, the Crow. So we really have a situation where they think that, this is going to do anything, but
I have a
there
question.
are clouds out there. So
even if it wasn't on a
won't.
cloud, even if and it was stored in a hard drives.
Your Honor, we don't know what a cloud is.
My hard drives are 6.5 feet in the air.
Wait, I have a question.
Your hard drives are only flaccid.
I have a question. If the hard drives were, even if they were soaking wet, don't you think the FBI, if they were sitting in water, don't you think the FBI could still just retrieve the information out of it?
A hard drive itself is a spinning disk with a reading
No,
needle.
not anymore. They're static.
And if you use the static ones, then you're talking about you have very specific positions within the chip that is going to be a memory allocation. When you
She
have
has
that,
no clue what that means.
well, when you have that, if water logs it, bottom line is you dry it the fuck out and you use
in a bowl of rice.
Throw it into a bowl of rice, whatever you need to do.
Throw
it into a bowl of damp rid and pull all the moisture out of it. And when all the moisture's out of it, plug it into a working system and access it as an external device. And you should be able to access that data very easily. You should be able to get right to it. But the bottom line is that almost every professional system out there right now uses a cloud backup, so you don't have to do that.
That's why Jack Smith subpoenaed the security company for the footage itself, because the footage that was given to him by the Trump administration or Trump org or whatever had gaps missing in it.
That's right.
So
that's right. They had blatant gaps in there, unexplainable gaps. And by flooding their own system, it's like, okay, well, that's great that you flooded your own system, but the source that you gave us is from the cloud and it still has the gaps. So, you have to attest as to what the gap, why the gaps are there. And you can't use the IT flooding to say that's why the gap is there, because the IT flooding occurred after the gap was discovered.
All right, let's play something real quick.
Okay.
Share for everybody.
Let's share. Hey.
Yes.
Come and join our playbox. Fucking wept on the cross he did. Yeah, still real loud. You know.
That's what I'm going to sing when Donald Trump gets indicted again.
Yeah, Metro Detroit. This is HBL Radio Nation.
Fuck, it was loud.
Yes, it is.
It was loud as hell at first. Oh, my God.
Hope we didn't blow out your radios, but...
blow out your eardrums.
It is a Metro Detroit phrase to say, we are going to blow your face out.
Either that or we're going to fucking flood your IT room. Yeah, the whole thing is so sauce.
Yeah.
First of all, the guy who moved the boxes voluntarily, wink, 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 is the same guy who drained the pool into the fucking IT room. And is the same guy who asked the IT guy about how long the surveillance, where the surveillance was and how long it would store and everything. Oh,
look, it's not an IT
God.
room because I said it's not an IT room. I made it not an IT room when I just decided it wasn't an IT room, so it's not an IT room.
It's like a bad Goodfellas movie. It's like so, like if you're gonna write this shit in a script and submit it to Hollywood, they'd be like, no.
But I still want to see that moment where they say where they tell them in court, that Perry Mason moment where they really, you know, that not MacGyver, who's the other one, the Southern one, you know, everybody was home watching, whatever it is, the attorney showing up, and I want to see them at that point when, you know, Trump says, you know, well, Your Honor, clearly our IT room was destroyed by this water. It's too bad we don't have any of it. Well, Your Honor, I'm just wondering about the cloud backup to your data.
Yeah.
You know, that one line, I want to see the response to that. I want to visually watch them all
melt,
fill their depends at that point when he asked that question, because they don't understand that new tech. Flood the IT room, and we'll say that's why we don't have the data.
Him flooding the records.
It's up in the cloud. You dumbass.
It's just like him trying to flood the accounting records of his hotel. He got away with it then because it was in 1986, right?
Yeah.
So the thing about it is that he still went bankrupt, the motherfucker.
I had a tablet take a shit on me.
He thinks he's going to get away with it this time. And he should have just stayed a rich, wealthy real estate golfing mogul. Otherwise, there's none of this shit. But
he wasn't. That was his fake persona. He really wasn't that. It wasn't until The Apprentice that he actually started making any real money.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a whole thing in there over that. He's a failed real estate agent.
True.
He is a failed real estate mogul.
God.
If anyone can hear me over the drops.
Yes.
Negative.
What are you going to sing when he's reelected?
Billy.
Trump. What am I going to sing when he's reelected? What am I going to sing?
Darknesses!
I'm going to say this.
I don't know. I won't be singing. I'll be very depressed.
Come on over and join me in Ireland, and we'll have a grand old time at my bed and breakfast over there. My breakfast isn't going to be shite, but, you know, there's a pub in town. You know, you'll forget it by the next day.
Yeah.
That'll be
Cornel
that's
West,
actually going to be our mission statement.
Cornel West says he's running for president. He also believes in chemtrails.
Yes, and Cornel West also believes that the Wachowski siblings from The Matrix were really, really prolific in the Matrix trilogy. So I really have to worry about like somebody's like he's just kind of this side of somebody who's saying that somebody talked to me last night in my bedroom when no one else was there.
Yeah. He also has weird thoughts on
just this side.
How Trump was murdered.
Trump?
I mean, not Trump. Prince.
Oh, Prince.
Sorry.
Wow. Confusing Trump.
I can't believe I just said that.
I can see that. They dress so much alike.
No. I just... Nobody's going to win against Biden.
Same body type. I get it.
Whatever. Gavin Newsom wants to...
the same.
Gavin Newsom wants to indict DeSantis for human trafficking.
Yes.
And same
as I've said
from
the
Greg
very
Abbott.
first flight. That very first flight, I've been saying that's human trafficking.
It is.
He needs to get indicted for human trafficking. Get it going. Get it going.
And on the
they're getting
same
it going.
week, the LPGA and Liv fucking merge. Jared Kushner is now being investigated for his connections to Khashoggi's murder.
Yeah, all the
Fucktard.
folks. Yeah, it's all bonesaw money.
Fucking asshole. And the day before we found out about the merger with Liv and PGA, Trump said that we still haven't gotten to the bottom of 9/11. What? Yeah, we have, dude. Like 15 out of the 19 were from Saudi Arabia, and now what? Like
yeah.
Dude.
I mean, somebody in the back is slowly raising their hand, like, I'm pretty certain we
my
did.
God, dude! Like, yeah.
But they're getting escorted out. The person that raises their hand and said, "No, do we have that covered?" No, they're getting hauled out of there.
Did you know that Trump made $80 million from his properties in Scotland and Ireland during his presidency?
Yeah, but did you know that his golf courses overseas are not up to par for the certification in the area, so they're not certified courses.
So
in other words,
I don't know what that
they
means.
can't be used in any of the big tournaments that go around Europe and the
Scotland?
EU, throughout the whole EU, Scotland and Ireland. So the whole thing is like his golf courses suck.
Yeah.
Essentially is what it is. They don't live up to what any of the other golf courses out there are. And that means that he's not going to be up for getting any money from any of the tournaments out there, which that's a big loss for the Trump organization, which is good because they wanted that loss because of the whole fraud in indictment against the Trump organization for the whole taxation thing in New York.
Right. Repeat offender.
That's going to come back to hit them over and over again, which is great. It's wonderful, beautiful. Love it.
Good. So I love this. Jack Smith's DOJ is not leaking, but Trump's pool is.
That is a headline writer.
Andrew Weissman says
Carl Kolchak.
to not charge Trump now would be against the rule of law. Andrew Weissman. These guys are so fucked. I just cannot wait. Yeah, so we don't even, the mystery grand jury in Florida, we don't really know. We get second grand jury in Florida. Does it have anything to do with the security footage and the deletes and the pool draining and the flooding?
Maybe something.
We don't really know. We don't really know why
good?
There's a second grand jury to Jack Smith's case in Florida, except all the lawyers and the pundits are saying, look, there were crimes committed in Florida, and there's certain crimes that have to be tried in the state that the crime was committed in.
That's Tony
But
talking
it's
right there.
still a federal crime.
That's Tony talking right there.
Tony. What are you going to say,
This
Tony?
is-
No, Danny.
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 This is Jack Smith picking away at it and saying,
Yes.
you know, buddy, you work down in Florida. You and I should be talking together. And you know something?
Yep.
They did this shit down there.
Yep.
So while I'm doing this up here,
You have to
you
be
do
doing
this
this down
down
there.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
and he does that down there, and that's going to get them to be able to, I don't know, maybe the different jurisdiction might enable them to, I don't know, dig up parts of a golf course. If it's, you know, it's public, you know, really, a golf course is really a public thing, you know, even though it's a private, you know, golf course, still, you know, argument could be made to dig up big parts of that that golf course, or at least little parts, at least, you know, 6 feet by 2 feet parts of that golf course that they could dig up and see what's there. You know, I mean, there could be an obstruction to the sewage. Seriously, there could. Hey! Don't laugh at that.
Oh,
that could happen.
Humanity of it all.
There could be a big sewage blockage there. There could be something that, and you know, there could be a big drainage issue, because if they put something solid down there and the water can't flow through it, well, we need to know about it. So they might need to do a little digging.
Why won't they leave me
Checking it out.
alone?
Well, it came out Tuesday too that 20 plus members of Trump's Secret Service have either testified, or they've either appeared before the grand jury in D.C., or they have been subpoenaed to. So, if anybody knows what the fuck he's been doing,
does this not sound like the ultimate in, like, you know, mob?
Yes, it's a mafia fucking story if I've ever heard it.
Mafia takedowns, big time.
Yeah, Chris Christie is now running for POTUS, and he seems to be running as like a prosecutor against Trump. He did that town hall, and he was talking to those people like they were a jury.
Wait a minute,
in a courtroom.
Chris Christie already did his town hall?
Yeah, it was
I
in.
missed
I
it.
want to say New Hampshire. Yeah,
No,
New Hampshire.
on CNN?
I don't know where it was.
Okay.
What it was on.
Oh, okay, because they've been doing all these new town halls, like, you know, since they, like, fired the Nazi.
Release your anger.
But I was wondering as to, because everything that all the Republicans are doing, like Nikki, whatever her name is, they all really kind of just incriminate themselves through these town halls. It's kind of brilliant. It's kind of fun to, like, you know, you just admitted that you do this, like, you know, you know, when you're watching them. It's crazy.
We're watching them commit crimes out and open for fucking 6, 7, 8 years now. I mean,
but they're flat out admitting it in these town halls.
Yeah. Greg Abbott is now under investigation for human trafficking by the DOJ. Merrick Garland.
Yes.
I love this.
Good.
You cannot do what you are doing. And I told you a couple of weeks ago that there's serious human trafficking
you knew
going
that
on.
you were a border situation to begin with. You ran on issues that affected the people in the towns on this side of that border. You knew what your resources were going into this. If you understood all that, and this was your border town that you ran for, and you ran knowing that you're on a border, then what the fuck are you doing saying everybody should share this, we should spread it out? Nobody agreed to that, okay? Here's the thing. Talk to us first. And I guarantee most of these states wouldn't be saying no. They're not going to turn these people away. We're going to maybe potentially open up welcome centers.
Look at what the fuck is happening in Florida. All the
We're going to
fucking
get some shit done.
immigrants are leaving, and there's nothing getting done down there.
But
It's
nobody
awesome.
likes the shock of waking up and Kamala Harris opening up her front door and seeing a busload of people right there.
Kamala,
Thank you. That's not right. That's not fair. And that's not good for those people. I really, really think that there should be welcome centers that we can put up in several of the abandoned office buildings where people who are working from home now, we can redistrict a building or two to allow these people to come in. It's better than them being out on the street. It's better than anything else. I mean, look at what's happening right now in San Francisco. I think that they need to open up those office buildings that people aren't going to
for low-income housing,
and let them put tents up inside the the old conference rooms. Let them do that instead of putting the tents up outside the way that they're doing right now. It's going to be better for them. It's going to be better for everyone around them. You might have to work on the the infrastructure as far as the bathroom situations go and setting up showers and that sort of thing. But you can make that happen with the infrastructure that is there. Ireland is doing it right now. Ireland is doing it right now for all of the Ukrainian refugees that are coming into Ireland. They are saying that, look, we have all these unused office buildings, so we are rezoning these, and we are putting in showers and shit like that, and we are letting them put up their tents inside there. It works there. Why can't it work here?
Let them stay at Tony's house. Billy, shut up. State elector scheme is the one to watch now, John Duff says. Yeah, look, Brian and I have been going back and forth. Which is going to get him, the documents or the elector scheme in Georgia? Because Jack Smith is going to maybe pull the trigger first, I think that's why it's going to get him first.
But in jail, that's the thing. What's going to get him in jail?
What is going to put him in jail?
And I think the fake electors is going to get him in jail.
Documents
is going to get him in jail. If the
documents gets him in jail, also.
You owe me what? A 12-pack or a beer? What are we doing now? I forgot.
I thought we were talking a 6-pack.
I thought we were talking
12-pack I'm good with.
Yeah.
12-pack, let's solidify it right now. 12-pack.
18.
But it's about...
Repeat offender.
But it's about jail time.
Yeah.
If he does jail time for yours and he does jail time for mine, then we buy each other a 12-pack.
But which gets him in jail first, I thought was the bet.
No, it's whatever gets him jail time, because we talked about it before. Because we said that if he goes to jail for both of them, we will gladly buy each other both, because this is a good thing. Because we're so happy. We would be so happy if he went to jail for both of them, right?
Oh, God.
So if he goes to jail for both of them, then we buy each other.
Forever.
But that means that if he goes to jail first for the documents case, then yes, I am clearly buying you a 12-pack.
Okay. And if he goes to jail first for
if he goes to jail later for the electors case in Georgia,
then I owe you another 12-pack.
Okay, fair enough. That's it.
Either way, we're getting beer. Either way. Hey, guess what? Either way, man, we're going to get some fucking beer.
We got it, yeah. There we go. Yeah, clink.
Everybody gay!
Sorry about moving the cameras on that one. We had to clink between them.
I know, right?
Ugh.
So Peter Navarro will stand trial in September on contempt of Congress charges filed after he refused to cooperate with the congressional investigation into Jan 6 attack.
Fucktard.
So, yeah, all these people around him are going down. It's starting to happen. We're starting to see it. There's another dude, Joseph Kafari, Trump's DHS Inspector General.
Kafari?
Kofifi.
Yeah. Admitted during a White House hearing that he destroyed federal records. consistently deleting text messages in violation of the Federal Records Act, the Secret Service's refusal to comply with requests for information of the disappearance of thousands of text messages sent on federal issue phones around the Jan 6, 2020 attack. So all the Secret Service messages that were deleted, all of that, all those people are going to be in trouble.
All of that was retrieved in the cloud, remember?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like
Yeah.
it's not going to
Because they're dumb.
disappear just because you delete it off your phone and out of your trash doesn't mean it's not there.
Me smash, no longer threat.
Hey,
What?
there's no cloud here.
We have no
I
cloud.
don't download anything.
Well, according to what I'm looking at
no.
right here,
No.
this is in a cloud.
Wow.
You know what, Billy? I'd rather have immigrants from Mexico stay at my house than a gun-toting fucking Trumplican.
Yeah,
That's true.
I'd rather have somebody stay at my house that walked across countries to free their family and have a better life.
If they came up here, I would buy them a shitload of groceries and say, that's my grill. And I would get an amazing meal, and that's all I would ask in return for them to stay.
I love that James Comer, just before we went on air, James Comer dropped his investigation into Christopher Wray.
Because there's nothing there.
Because there's nothing there. Do you remember when Trump said to Zelensky, just announce that there's an investigation into Biden. You don't have to really do one. And do you remember the other one? Just say there's fraud, and me and the other Republicans will take care of it. Do you remember all that? Because he does this all the time. Just say that there's an investigation. Just say that Biden's corrupted with China and all this
that
bullshit.
That sounds an awful lot like what Giuliani was saying on the night of just say you won this state. Just say you won
Just say
this.
you won and everything's... Yeah. Just say it.
Yes. Yeah.
Just say it and over and over and over
say
and over and over again so people start fucking believe it.
Yeah.
It's such bullshit. It really fucking pisses
It's fake
me
it
off.
till you make it till the ultimate
gaslighting
degree.
and projection. It absolutely is.
It's fake it till you make it, but the problem is that you're only always faking it. And you never really ever make it.
Apparently, Tucker Carlson put out a thing.
Tuckums.
10-minute thing on Twitter.
Thing,
and now Fox wants to sue him.
Yeah, my show's better.
Because he breached his contract.
Hear the thing on btgvoice.com.
And the Oregon State Attorney General announces a probe into Fox Corporation board for broadcasting false claims about 2020 election. So their Oregon State Attorney General is going after Fox News. I think more states, Michigan should do this. Every blue state should do this. Sue the fuck out of them. And I also, you know what I also thought about this? I want them to do the same thing against Trump for involuntary manslaughter for COVID.
For the COVID cases.
All these states.
That's the long stretch. I would like to see it, but that's the long stretch.
Glenn Kirshner said all these states should get together and go do a class action lawsuit against Trump for involuntary manslaughter for all the COVID deaths that happened in their states. I mean, I would just throw the book at him. Throw every fucking thing you can at him.
That is such a long haul. And
I know.
That's something that will probably find him guilty 10 years, 15 years, 20 years after he's passed. You know, he won't be alive to see that one. That's the thing.
Throw the banned books at him.
He's gobbling down as much of those chicken nuggets as he can, hoping to put himself out before he has to deal with the ramifications of his actions throughout his entire life. I mean, that's how it goes.
Hate Donald Trump so much.
Yes.
Yeah, watch yourself, Billy. Jesus. The fuck, asshole. Texas lawmakers have raked in $19 million from Harlan Crow before we knew about the Clarence Thomas thing. So basically, Harlan Crow owns Texas and the fucking Supreme Court. Jesus Christ. This guy. In the Supreme Court, I just really, I've just so had enough. You get to the point where you're just like, enough of the corruption.
I'd like to say that John Deff mentioned that he is
second generation.
Grandparents were, immigrants. He's second generation. Right there with you.
Yep.
My parents.
Ditto.
My parents were born over in Ireland and came back over. Yep. Right there.
My grandparents on my father's side, I'm second generation.
You crazy
And
Dutch bastard.
on my mother's side, it's more like 3 or 4. But it doesn't matter. We all came from somewhere else.
That's the point.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter until, and you didn't. The point really is that you didn't know that until I told you that. If you walked up to me at a bar and we just started talking back and forth, shooting the shit, you would have no idea where I'm from, how long I've been here, what
if
my
you're wearing your
generations
kilt,
are,
I
any
might,
of that.
but
Well, wearing the kilt,
and your complexion.
yeah, you're see-through. Go sleep.
All right, so fuck off with your fucking bastards. Yeah. So you insignificants are fucking coming up to me at a bar.
Yeah.
Talking your shite the way you do.
Keep on sucking till you do succeed.
No, but I get where you're
But I
coming
mean,
from.
really,
Yeah.
I mean, when you just walk up and talk to somebody, and until they let you know what that thing is, you don't know where
Who
they're
cares?
from, what that thing is.
Who gives a fuck?
That's the point. Who cares and who gives a fuck? You shouldn't, and you shouldn't ever, but that's the whole premise of everything that the right is pushing down right now.
Yeah.
In their bills, in their their concepts of we're gonna, I'm gonna impeach everybody. I'm impeaching everybody. I'm impeaching my big toe because I only have 3 of them.
I love this sign that was at an LGBTQ protest sign. And it said, respect my existence or expect my resistance.
Nice.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That's a solid one.
Fuck yeah. And I feel like this about a ton of things, not just, I mean, I'm a woman. So, again, I could say the same thing. If you're LGBTQ or if you're an immigrant or you know what I mean? There's so many things this could be. Expect it. Expect it, you motherfucker, because this is not the way we roll here. All right? You want your fascist ways and your authoritarianism, then you go like that bitch that just fucking left and went to fucking defected to fucking Russia. Tara Reid.
Yeah.
The accuser of a sexual abuser that Biden is.
Not
oh
the
my
star
God.
of
Not our
American
favorite Tara Reid.
Not the star of American Pie.
Yeah. How about this? The entire West Virginia State Police Department is under sexual misconduct investigation after multiple lawsuits filed from dozens of women, including minors. The entire fucking West Virginia State Police Department, the entire thing. And you call drag
It's West
queens,
Virginia, dear, yeah.
and you call
Yeah.
drag queens and rainbows are groomers, and you're afraid of books.
Yep.
The fuck is your problem?
Infected animal!
Fucking A.
Hit it with the fucking space lasers.
Blast her with the fucking space lasers!
Blast her with the fucking space. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
That's what puts it over the top. The blaster with the spaces.
Most slaves' families have deeper roots. That's true, John Duff.
Yes.
They have had roots here since 1600s.
They're probably the
But it's been erased.
origination of humanity.
That's very true. Yeah. And here's the thing. I have this. I've heard this argument before over and over again, and I've heard this as a retaliatory thing to slavery and all this from white people. And I have the first part of this going as well, but then I'm going to really kind of deviate from it. So a lot of people have heard a lot of white people say, my family wasn't here when slavery was here. We didn't own slaves. We had nothing to do with slavery. And I agree with that. However, my family then became American. And when you become American, you take on everything it means to be an American, the good and the bad, the credits and the debits. And you have a lot of debts out there. And that means that reparations are due for the indigenous people whose land we stole to build this country, and the African American slaves who came over and
who were stolen. They didn't come over.
They were stolen and brought over, and this country was built on the broken backs of stolen slaves at that point. So I'm all for reparations. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think that 5% of 1 year, and that's half of your tining, which if you're a good Christian, you tine 10%. Take half of that. If you and the Christian church agree with that for 1 year, I think that is a good olive branch to reach out.
Fucking
I
Democrat.
think that is going to make some real peace, and I think that that's not going to make anybody rich. It's not going to make anybody poor. And you're already giving double that to the church, right? So give half of it to really make a difference.
Tax the fucking
That's
churches.
my concept. Thank you.
DeSantis is trying to sanitize the past. Why?
Come out,
And
come
get
out
better.
wherever you
Yeah.
are.
Knowledge is power, and that's what they want to
Yes,
take away.
absolutely.
They don't want people to be knowledgeable. Remember when Trump said, I love the uneducated? I mean, that's what we're fucking talking. That's why they want to
You know who else
ban
said
all
that?
these books. You know, we're way past time, but I mean, since he's already on, I don't know. 3 minutes past time isn't way
L.
past
Ron
time,
Hubbard
but
said the
whatever.
same thing, is that, a good gullible person is somebody that I can, manipulate, and I can drag on, and I can really form a religion around.
Right, yeah.
Do you have any last words, any final words tonight, Daya?
You can't keep dousing the evidence with water. It won't work.
That's true.
That's my final word. What's your final word?
Enjoy the silence.
My final words are, I've had a family tragedy recently where one of my cousin's kids ate a whole bunch of quarters, and they took him to the hospital, and he's stable, no change yet.
I'm sure the word you were looking
No change.
Crickets.
Yet.
Symbolism.
No change yet.
Crickets. Where are the crickets?
Boom. There you
There you
go. Thank you.
There's the
We are
crickets.
HBL Radio Nation. Please
I
watch,
want to thank
share,
everybody.
follow.
Benny Loco, John Deff,
Thanks, Kat.
Paul
Thanks, Billy.
Wadzinski,
Cat.
Cat's in the house.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you guys for hanging out. HBL Radio
Benny
Nation.
Loco,
You know, we
hey.
started this because we were like sitting at the bar
Thanks for
and we
your
were talking about politics, and then like this asshole walked up and wanted to stick his nose into what we were saying, and I'm like, maybe we should start a podcast so we can talk about this shit, and we could drink beer and smoke pot and da-da-da and hang out and just talk the way we would do if we were sitting at the bar. And I hope we're sticking kind of close to that, even though now I'm taking notes.
Sitting at the bar with me in a kilt and
Yeah, oh God, the kilt. You guys,
Vagina.
to see this guy in a kilt, and nobody fucks with him.
Vagina.
Nobody. You
No,
do
they
not
don't.
fuck with a man in a kilt at a fucking Irish bar.
no, because that's what
Ever.
we did to people after we put them on.
Alive.
Or put 'em under.
Alive.
Thank you again, you guys. We'll see you next week. Try to spread the word and, try to help us promote the show.
Son of a bitch.
Enjoy.
That would be great so we get more people to watch us.
Share, comment, like, all that good stuff. Thank you so much. We are HBL Radio Nation. We will
And-
see you next Thursday, 5:30.
Peace out, motherfuckers.
Vagina.
race the other way to burn, so yeah. Stepping out of bitchin' cars, have a motor with a dual quad. Stepping out of bitchin' cars, racing to the top of spot, oh no. Oh no. I don't care where she's always in my hair. Don't ask me why, she probably start to cry, oh yeah.
Yes, we do drive Chryslers.
Sipping out of bitchin' cars, race the other way to Mars. Oh no, 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 no. Sipping out of bitchin' cars, they're gonna put me behind the bars. Oh no. Stepping out of bitchin' cars, have a motor with a dual quad. I don't care where she's always in my hair. Don't ask me why, she'll probably start to cry, no, no.
We are trailing a long-haired Caucasian in a 1970 Dodge Super B. We are in pursuit right now. He's getting away from us. We lost him. License plate registered to a William Guard Gaffney. Hey, isn't that guitar guy? One time I heard him play Believer by Ozzy. It was sweet.
Stepping out of bitchin' cars, racing to the top of spots, oh no. Stepping out of bitchin' cars, gonna race you all the way to Mars, oh no, no. Got everyone to do it. Stepping out of bitchin' cars, and motor into a quad. I don't care, cause she's always in my hand. Don't ask me why, she will start to cry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Stepping out of bitchin' cars, gonna race you the way to burn, so yeah. Stepping out of bitchin' cars, have a motor with a dual quad. Stepping out of bitchin' cars, racing to the top of spot, oh no. Oh no. I don't care where she's always in my hair. Don't ask me why, she'll probably start to cry, oh yeah.
Yes, we do drive Chryslers.
Sipping out of bitchin' cars, race the other way to Mars, oh no, 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 no. Stepping out of bitchin' cars, they're gonna put me behind the bars, oh no. Stepping out of bitchin' cars, have a motor with a dual quad. I don't care where she's always in my hair. Don't ask me why, she'll probably start to cry, no, no.
We are trailing a long-haired Caucasian in a 1970 Dodge Super B. We are in pursuit right now. He's getting away from us. We lost him. License plate registered to a William Guard Gaffney. Hey, isn't that guitar guy? One time I heard him play Believer by Ozzy. It was sweet.
Stepping out of bitchin' cars, racing to the top of spots, oh no. Stepping out of bitchin' cars, gonna race you all the way to Mars. Oh no, no. Got everyone to do it. Stepping out of bitchin' cars and motoring into a quad. I don't care, cause she's always in my head. Don't ask me why, she was got to cry. Yeah, yeah, yeah.